We already, you know. Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to a WNBA State of Mind, where we mainly discuss basketball, but we love other sports. Me, nephew Vid, Don Dada, coming with the juice, the ins, the outs, what's hot, what's not in the W this week. And I mean, you talk about it's been hot. Talk about fired up, you guys. The eighth seed is under attack for the playoffs by Chicago, DC, and seemingly Atlanta. I don't really know what's going on with them cats. Today, we got a lot of games, right? So we got, and they start at 3 on League Pass with Atlanta, DC, and many in New York. Okay. Phoenix and Chicago go head to head at 6. Okay. And they're all on League Pass. Then also at 6 o'clock, you got the Aces. They play against the Sun, CBS. Okay. That's the only channel that, that's a national channel. Everybody else, you got to go on League Pass. I suggest that you download that app and you pay that $34.99. I really do. Fellas, listen, this is crazy. Absolutely bananas. Bananas. The remaining schedule, right? Listen up. Then we're going to, and I'll let y'all interject. The Dream, and we talked about this, are 2 games out and play DC, Chicago, and New York. Chicago plays Phoenix, the Dream, and the Sun. And then DC plays Chicago, New York, and Indy. The Dream have to win all of them. And probability has it, all right, that the AC is needing to win 2 out of the 3 games. So which teams do you have coming for the 8th spot? And can DC beat Atlanta today? Does Tina go off? I mean, does Gray go off? Like, what's going on? Dom started off, you know what I'm saying? Because we definitely talking about Atlanta.
Oh yeah, we got to talk about Atlanta, and I'm gonna tell you what's about to happen. Ryan Howard doesn't have 2 bad games in a row. It never happens. Expect a double today from her, as well as Tina Charles. Brittany Sykes has got to be contained this game. Atlanta, when it comes down to it, they won't make the playoffs. Unfortunately, they're gonna win today. They're gonna win their next game. They're gonna lose that 3rd game. That's gonna put them at 14-26. You got Chicago, 3 losses straight that are coming. It's unfortunate that franchise got to do some rebuilding. They got some things to work on. Washington will lose today. They're going to win their next 2 after that. They'll finish at 15-24 and get that playoff berth.
Okay. All right. What you got to say?
I mean, he took all my takes, but it's all good, you know. This guy was rolling with Atlanta hard earlier, but the truth of the matter is Atlanta got to win out to get that 8th seed, and I don't see them winning today, and it's over for them. They lose today, it's over for them. You know, since we're already going into the battle of the 8th seed, whoever wins 2 of 3 between with Chicago and Washington has the 8th seed.
Okay, what you think, Dom? I mean,
like I say, I see it finishing this way: Chicago 12-28, Atlanta 14-26, Washington 15-24. Every game matters. The schedules are short. Atlanta's going to look back on this season. They're going to look at the schedule, the coaching staff, front office, and say, man, how did we drop those 2 games in between when we could have, easily had a playoff berth?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot out here right now. You don't know who to look at this point. You got a lot of people screaming about the coaching staff, which is always who comes under attack.
Yeah,
But for me, coming from the player standpoint, I mean, are these players playing hard enough? Are they getting these 50-50 balls? Are they stepping it up and getting extra rebounds? Are they picking each other up? Are they rallying behind the crowd that's there for them, all of the time? So it's easy to point the finger at the coach and, oh, they're not doing the X and O's and different things like that. But the coach can't go out there and play The coach can't, give them effort. That comes from the players. And a lot of times I don't see that on a collective basis all of the time with Atlanta. What do you think?
No, I totally agree with you. Regardless of who is on the floor with you, and that comes from what happens in the locker room. You guys got to have that chemistry. It's doing things off the court together. It's, competing hard against each other in practice. And those are some things that they've lacked this year. You were spot on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's unfortunate, you know. Kudos to him. I mean, I give him all of the energy in the world because that's a team that's been around for a while. Certain teams you just want to see well. Atlanta's one of those teams I definitely want to see well, but it has to come from the players. It has to come from the players. I can't agree with all of this, and yeah, there's X's and O's, and maybe the coach this and coach that, but real talk, I'm always going to be about the players and self accountability and what it is that you're doing at this moment to change the situation. And you're listening to a WNBA State of Mind. And we're sitting here chopping it up about the 8th spot. Who's coming for the number 8 spot? Thought it would be Atlanta, Luda, but it's not happening as of right now. You just never know what could happen. They could have woke up on the right side of the bed and just decided they're going to go in. Now, there's a lot of talk right now about Chicago, how they're going to perform. Give me some takes. How do you think that Chicago can come out of this thing?
They're not going to come out. It's so unfortunate, because they had their moment where they were rolling. But with Reese out, the things that she did for them defensively, the way she used to clean up the boards, she was becoming the mini Ben Wallace there for a minute. Double rebounds every single night. You know how difficult that is in this league?
Yeah.
So that's losing a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. What you think, nephew?
I mean, I still ain't counting them out because the only thing they have to do is win 2 or 3. And one of those 3 games is against Atlanta. So if they can win that and they play today, the Mercury, although I have the Mercury winning, but if they can pull that off and then a win with Atlanta, I think they're in there unless Washington goes 3-0, and we have to keep in mind that with Chicago, Chicago and they played Connecticut Thursday, and Washington played the Fever. Does Connecticut rest their players? So if Chicago is playing a team that's going to rest, then they have a strong chance because Washington, who Washington's going to get. They're going to get the best of the Fever. So I'm not ready to count them out just yet.
I'm not ready to count them out either. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. That energy that's gonna be popping in the Chi-Town this afternoon is gonna be radiant. And I know that Kennedy Carter, based on just a little small thread conversation, listen, she ready.
Yeah, she a hooper. She a hooper.
She
She
gonna hoop,
feeds
and
off of those games.
it's gonna be about her willing that team. If she could will that team, and just play the rest of the season with emotional intelligence, there could be a problem. There could be a problem. I really need for Dina Evans, Dana Evans to get more minutes. I need her to definitely get more minutes. Onion Wade to get more minutes. Uh, Teresa has got a lot of talent over there that she could work with, and if she utilizes it in the right way, she may be able to pull off the unthinkable.
You're right. You're right. It could happen. Anything can happen. It's sports, right? We know. We've all been through it. You go in, you're confident, and then the next thing you know, you're looking at this up at the scoreboard, and you're like, why are we down 20 right now? Why are we down 10? We thought we had this. The other team thought otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really in the playoffs, it's about, I mean, you have to turn into a different animal. You got to score more. You definitely have to defend more. You got to rebound more. You got to get to the line more. You got to get 50-50 balls more. You got to have emotional intelligence. You got to play every moment. You can't take a moment off. You can't get plugged into things that don't have anything to do with nothing, get caught up in whining and crying to the refs. That's not a good idea, to change the energy of the game, especially if you're on the road. You do not want to have the reputation of the team that's always crying. Okay, that does have an effect on things. So you just have to be smart all across the board. And more than anything, you have to have the heart of a lion, and you have to have the cohesiveness of a piece of tape. And you're listening to a WNBA State of Mind. We coming at you with the playoffs. Best topic of the playoffs is who's going to come in the number 8 spot. And you keep on, you come over here, WNBA State of Mind, where the truth lies, history is learned, and 9 times out of 10, you heard it here first. Go download and follow on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, or any other podcast platform. We love you. Sammy Sosa, peace out. Short take, fellas.
Sorry about that damn dogs barking and shit.